Right now, 4:30, the highest court in the land is now mulling over whether or not these voting districts draw up by South Carolina lawmakers discriminate against black voters. Well, the NAACP is suing the state right now, the legislator, for moving tens of thousands of black voters out of certain districts to create what they call Republican strongholds. That case is now ascended to the Supreme Court. Queen City News reporter Savannah Rudisell reports from Fort Mill, South Carolina, on the potential impact of this case and others like it.
South Carolina's case is one of the first few that the Supreme Court has decided to take up in the new term, which just started this month. There will be many other legislatures with their eyes on how the bench decides this case. That's partly because places like Georgia and Florida have their own redistricting fight ahead of them. And the High Court has taken a heavy interest in district maps recently, notably in North Carolina. In a 6-3 vote, the Supreme Court rejected Republicans' claim that they had the final say over the district maps rather than the power of the state courts. Legal analysts say the consequences of that decision may be felt in South Carolina's case.
So this really was an important case about whether people will select politicians or whether the politicians will select the voters.
For South Carolina's case, district and appellate courts judges have sided with the NAACP, agreeing the maps were unfair. State lawmakers and their lawyers argue they redrew the boundaries for political reasons, not racial. And the court previously decided that that kind of gerrymandering is allowed under the Constitution. Both sides have asked the court to issue that final decision by January 1st. That'll give lawmakers time to make sure all the districts are settled by the 2024 election. Reporting in Fort Mill, Savannah Rudisell, Queen City News.
Thank you, Savannah. All right, let's take a deeper dive on this topic here, and let's bring in Chief Legal Analyst Kelly Frodes to the conversation and give us more context, because when you look at what we just heard there, how did this wind up all the way to the Supreme Court?
I mean, it all starts with maps, maps, and maps. You start with a census, and then you get a state legislature that decides that they want to draw maps in a certain way, and then so we've seen it in North Carolina, we've seen it in Florida, we recently saw it in Alabama, and now we're seeing it in South Carolina. Nothing has changed. There's maps that want to be drawn in a number of different ways and for a number of different reasons. The plaintiffs will say that the maps were drawn based on race. Defendants will say no, they were based on politics, because in recent times the courts have held that you can draw them for political reasons. And so that's why we are here. But oftentimes you can kind of figure out what can occur by listening to what the judges say in their questioning. And so this case, I think, is distinctly different, at least the judges believe, than the most recent Alabama case. If you look at Chief Justice Roberts, he said, well, I don't think you guys have presented any evidence that can show. You know, this is the first case I can ever believe that I've seen where it's all circumstantial. They didn't point to anything like a smoking gun where we saw them draw these maps based solely on race. And so if I'm looking at the way that the judges are tipping their head, you would think that it would lean to them siding with the defendants in this case and saying that the maps can stay like they are, which it may be unfortunate for the plaintiffs that filed this claim, believing that it was done based on race only.
And you kind of answered this a little bit. I just want to go a little deeper with this, because I really want your personal opinion on this. If you were arguing for both sides, because there is no precedent, you know, how do you make that argument?
Well, I mean, the precedent is there. You have to be able to point to race. And so I would say that you took 30,000 plus individuals out of this one district and shifted them somewhere else. Those 30,000 are all black voters. And so for me, I can say that it wasn't on accident if I'm arguing for the plaintiffs why you moved them. If I'm the defendants, I'm saying, no, it was surely political, that I wanted to balance up that district and ensure that every voter that was geographically close got an opportunity to vote for folks within their own district. And that's the argument that defendants have made. I would make both of those arguments, but I think that the overwhelming evidence would support so far that you did at least move 30,000 folks, and they happen to all be 30,000 African Americans that will be disproportionately affected by that move. Ironically, Nancy Mace out of South Carolina, who voted to move out McCarthy, that's the seat that's up for grabs. And so if this district is redistricted to be predominantly African American, it's now Republican held. That seat could balance and tip the balance in the House. And so a lot of eyes are looking at that district. And you got to remember, in Alabama, they failed to redraw the districts after the Supreme Court has now told them twice that their districts were gerrymandered by race base. And they said, you know what, Supreme Court, tell us again to redraw them. So they just did that a few weeks back. And so we're still waiting to see if a district can be redrawn properly based on the court's distinctions. But in this case, it seems like they have for sure already tipped their hats to the way they're going to lead.
I got to point this out just because of what we're dealing with today in terms of the House Speaker up for grabs as to who's going to get that with Nancy Mace and her position in that area. area of the Low Country. I think that's why you're seeing her today say we have to be unified. And it's a change of pace versus the people who ousted House Speaker Kevin McCarthy. But looking at this case in particular in Alabama, of what we saw, are you surprised that it's gone all the way up to the Supreme Court?
No, I mean, because constitutional issues in terms of these type of concerns, this is the only court that can truly address them. They'll start in the lower courts, and the lower court decide it with plaintiffs. But then at some point, you're going to push it up and want the court, the U.S. Supreme Court, to make a decision. Give us guidance. Tell us how we should draw these maps going forward. That's why they talked about you can draw these maps for political basis and not for race basis. Well, that comes from the Supreme Court. So you need that court, the highest court in the land, to make a decision, to give us guidance, and allow these these legislatures and individual states to get some kind of roadmap on how they can draw these maps.
I have about 20 more seconds. Real quick, how do you think this is going to play out?
I think that it's going to go against the plaintiffs in this case. I think that the majority wants to see more. They don't want circumstantial evidence. They want something that's hard, fast, smoking gun. I saw the maps. You guys pointed to race. There's some data that you were using, and they don't have any of that.
Carly Rhodes, we appreciate your insight.